This is my website developer, jenleedata.com, and I just wanted to share that with you in case any of you are needing to build a website on a smaller scale, basic kind of getting into the business or any kind of market function. And she will go up to mid-size as well, but she'll kind of guide you what you can do with her or not. But I just want to promote her there. So that's jenleedata.com here in Strathmore area. And thank you for that. Now, I wanted to start today with a bit of a story on some Canadian folklore. And sometimes you can learn principles and key things from stories, even if they're fables or not true, but they've been handed down through the years in entertainment, a good joke, clean of sort, and I'll tell you one today. And there's sometimes a key point in it, right? And that's the bigger lesson you want to drive home. But so in Canadian folklore, there's a bird that follows after the killdeer and the meadowlark. And this bird has a name of its own, and I'll tell you how it got its name. But the killdeer makes a sound like its name. Killdeer, killdeer. You've heard that kind of high-pitched chirp, right? And the meadowlark has a unique whistle of its own, and it has a melody that kind of goes like, I was here a year ago, and well, the kiki bird is a unique bird, and it got its name, and I'll tell you how and why. But in Canada, we have cold, right? And it gets very cold in the winter, but before the winter, before the lakes freeze up and it's still cold, the kiki bird was known for its humane and unique size, in its shape and body size, about the size of a little chicken, and prairie chicken, actually. They're a unique family-oriented bird. And every morning, and the male and female would be in their nest, and the male would go out to the water and light down. But its unique features and its overall look and appeal, it had these little 1-inch legs, so it couldn't stand very high. But on those legs, its unique endowment of sort, I'll use the word penis, I guess, but was a half-inch longer, 1.5 inches long. And so this bird would fly out above the cold waters, and you can imagine why it got its name, kiki bird. You might not know, but in this story, the word cripes comes up. C-R-I-P as in Paul, E-S as in Sam, and cripes is another way to say oh gosh or oh heck. And he'd fly out and he'd light down on the water, and his 1-inch legs would be out, and just as he's about to hit the water, you know what his penis would touch first? His male endowment, his authority, if you would say so, and I would, but kind of a unique blend of features. Why would you be longer than your legs to stand on? But he'd hit the water and he'd go, kiki cripes, it's cold out today. So we don't tell that one long, and I don't know why you'd shape something like that, and it's obviously folklore. I don't think our wise Lord above would create anybody or any animal feature like that. But connections, we have some unique endowment and an authority, and we have a lot of connections, just as the word says, but our reach, our authority goes further than you even know, because there's people we know through other people, beyond people we even talk to and deal with on a day-to-day, month-to-month, week-to-week basis. So, if you're from outside Canada and you're thinking about coming here to develop business, and we are always looking at economy growth and stimulating the economy, more jobs, we have immigration here, people coming in. This is just like America, United States of America, the land of opportunity. And anybody that's a millionaire, or, welcome. Bring in their money. You want to create jobs. We like that. We've been doing that for years. And I happen to be, a fifth generation Canadian, and born and raised in this kind of white ethnic Western Canada, the original roots of the pioneer that developed the land, tilled the ground, the farming heritage. So we've got roots way back, and in the business environment, I've been working for 30 plus years, so I have some experience and know-how. Our company connections can help you get plugged in. You might be a bit stymied from a foreign country. You might not speak our language. We have English as a second language in this country, and people develop that program. So we'll help you find your way in so you can connect with the right people. As a pioneer of that, as a project manager, and I just really want to know, I guess, how everybody's doing today, because it's a tough economy. We've been kind of winding our way out of a recession here the last couple of years. Nobody wanted to say the R word, but it was tough. And and what are you doing for a living? Honestly, we all got to survive, right? Connections will help you no matter what sector you're in. Even if you're one of my friends on Facebook, and you got some that are kind of talking to you all the time, so you get to know them better than all the rest of your friends, right, that are occasional. It's just like face to face, same scenario, right? Some people you know better. Anyhow, no matter what sector you're in, if you want to develop business in our country, and it doesn't matter, even if you're in shaving a poodle, you got a dog grooming industry or whatever, there's work for that. And we can help you with unlikely customers, finding the right people to get along with. And we do go the extra mile, like it said on Laura Lee's card. And heck, if you were dealing with an angry, upset customer, and helping them get through a problem, we might even take care of your poodle for a minute. You know what I mean? We'll go the extra mile. So do that with us. What we want to talk about today is just, how our projects work in our company in this short 30-minute video. And, we do this, our kind of two main adages we do is training and projects. And, it's nice to get long-term projects if we can, but we'll help you come in and clean up a mess or get what you do organized so you can go out in the forefront with your customers in a 2 to 5 month period as well. We've done that. I've done 8 projects for 8 different corporations in the last, as I've said, since 2008 or 2011, I mean. And there's two kind of things we focus on. Get us assigned to your territory. What do you actually want to accomplish? And you can see it on the board back there. Kind of drew that funny diagram out with the hurricane under it. And then get going, because sometimes you need a hurricane under your butt to get you going, kind of thing. And it's, often when we come in to do a project, people are in a need, right? So, there's a couple of reasons why what your need might be, I guess. If you've got ample full-time staff, why are you going to hire a contractor? Essentially, we're a broker, but you want us for the service we can provide, our technical know-how in the customer, in selling, in the customer transaction, but also the awareness we can create. We have a lot of favor with people, our company. We know a lot of people now. We know enough, and people are interested and well aware of us, and there's some getting close to that commitment level, like I've said. You might want to confront a couple of your you're maybe, if you have any resistance to why you would hire a contractor, let alone us, who well with favor do well and do a good, strong job for you. But if you have resistance, you might want to confront that. Why would you resist the idea? Well, first of all, if your plate is full with employees, you don't need us. You probably got the job done. Maybe not. Maybe some of them are slumping, and maybe you want to spend some extra money to have a pinch hitter come in, like in a baseball game, That's up to you. But honestly, I try to promote, we fill the gap if you're short of staff. And often people, we're an economy where people have had trouble in some places finding the right fit employee who's good at what they do, knowledgeable of staff and how to handle people, how to handle the customer transaction element. And you can't depend on just throwing anybody in there, right? They got to have some know-how and be astute at handling people. So, we can fill the gap if you're short. That's kind of one adage we push. The second one is, maybe you just have a special project. You just want to flood a certain market for a while with some extra awareness. And I have worked in teams where, in my history, where we brought consultants in just to get an extra boost in awareness, even though we were managing the territory well. And we wanted to get more of our brand recognition out there, so you'd have a consultant come in and just simply create awareness. That was the only goal. It wasn't to, take over the customer transaction. And we wouldn't do that on you. That's something, if you are kind of not, well, maybe fearful, but you're wondering, well, would a consultant come and steal my customers? Well, I'm a broker. I'm not, we handle other people's customers. That's what we do. We don't have a business of our own other than helping other businesses. So, in essence, that's our mainstay, training and projects. So, our goal would be to keep you in flight with your customers, keep you moving ahead and going forward with them, and that would be the only goal. And we would even go as willing as signing confidentiality contracts with you, keeping you in the fleet with them, right? Going forward in the vestige with them. That's your profitability long term. You want them back, and you want to go that way. So we'd sign with you. We don't want a bunch of overlap either, right? Where we're helping one guy one year and the next year we're offering his competition a big deal. I realize things happen and people part ways, but our adage or goal is we want to stay with people and select companies in certain industries and kind of span out that way. So you can go with us well that way, knowing that. A technical meeting would be in the background somewhere, because you can know well how to handle customer relation and transaction and selling. But, we'd want to work with you on the technical, because we'll go into any industry as long as we can meet with your engineers and your key, not just simply necessarily your marketers, right? We want to hear the engineer or the technical guy's person's message too, because we want to be able to package it right for you. We don't want to be overselling and committing you to things you're not willing to do. It's going to be your message we carry out into the market, so you can live and die by it, so to speak, after we leave. If we're only there on a 2 to 5 month project, we want you to live. We don't want you to have to carry a ball or a burden for something we did the hard way. And we recognize that as an issue sometimes when you don't know people. You can count on, we have a way and a process and a system. We're going to set you up well. We won't leave your corporate boardroom. We'll spend a half a day to 2 days with you to really understand the clout of your business well enough that we can carry that ball down the field and move it forward for you, so to speak. Because when you're out there after, in the sale follow through, the logistics, the transportation act, everything you carry, depending on what industry, trucking, whatever, you want to know we didn't make commitments you can't handle, and we'll do that. It'll be your message, streamlined, approached, and we won't do anything that you wouldn't want us to do. except to make the sale with your permission by getting back and giving all the information to the client. So it's handled well. Expertise is high there, and you will look very professional and unique in this as you take CCI Connections Consulting on in your fold to do that. The last thing you want to do is be beat down in the blender, when guys are price checking all the time, and you can give anybody in your system, or even consulting firms of other sorts, I'm not going to brag anybody up, anybody can take a price list and quote the best price, and then when the customer doesn't know any better about the value stream you create and what you're really up to and your mission and how you want to create that with them in their system and kind of in flight together like the the Mighty Ducks team, right? Going in the system the same direction in the industry you're in. Well, anybody can beat down a price, and you want margin at the end of the day, right? Well, so we're going to know how to handle specific issues that come up, so it doesn't always just come back to the price, because you will compete on price, and most customers are forgiving to a degree, a couple dollars here and there if you're selling high value things. I mean, they're not chinsing you for pennies, but let's face it, like hotels, for example. I was just down in Brooks-Bazano area yesterday, towards the Saskatchewan border, east of Calgary, and I stopped in and picked up a business card from one new friend I have now, a guy that owns a hotel there. His name's DJ, and it's a $65 a night. It's one of these little comfortable, affordable hotels. Nothing to it except a good night's sleep, right? The one across the way or the next town over, bigger town, you might be starting at 140, 150, 120 right in their town. Who knows what he was saying. Well, you get a little more frill, right? Well, some of us, I don't want a bunch of frill necessarily all the time. I just want a good night's sleep. I'll go that way. No hassle, as I say. I don't want any hassle. Well, that doesn't apply to my adage when it comes to customer service and relationships that are going in the vested stream I'm going in life, where we're going together in a unique direction. I'm talking about hassle. You don't want hassle where people are just toying with you and it's like nothing to do with anything that makes sense. Well, sometimes you get into busier areas, you've got all kinds of streams of things going on. You don't want to mix with some of that. So I sometimes just take the hideaway place, little low-cost place, and there you go. And people want that sometimes, right? No hassle. So that's a whole different adage than, I'm buying my $500 thing of this or that, and the guy across the street selling it for $502, and the guy down the way $499. Well, you know what? I like the guy that's selling it for the $500, and I've been used to dealing with him, or even if he's at $502 maybe. That isn't always a big deal, a buck here and there, right? And if you're buying big volumes of it, well, maybe you talk a bit and you sort it out and you get somewhere in the range where you're both comfortable with. And that's okay. And we'll handle your account that way as we go out and, seek a project with you, manage our own stream of financing, and get negotiating with you on training or project costs. But when we represent you, we do it the same way. We want to make sure both sides are satisfied, and I say that right on my website. So that's part of our kind of guarantee, I guess, when you work with us on a project. And it's projects pay the bills too. We're not just all about training, so any work is good work. We might have our preferences here in some of the things we like to do, but you know what? Some of the things that you're not as keen about in your own skill set, if people want to work with you, I'll take it. I mean, I have preferences. Some things I lean to. Some things it's like, you know how it is. You're human too. It's like hard grunt work to get it done. It's like, I know I'm okay at doing this. Like I can manage financially, whatever, it works. But I'd prefer to be doing something totally in the other realm of my scope of things, and but you got to get it all done. And if someone offered me work in an area that I had less favored desire in my abilities, and that's all they did for the next 20 years was offer me that kind of work, I take it. Because you know what? I got to pay the bills too, man. You too, right? It all comes down to that. We all got to work to pay our bills and have the money come in. And I need that too, just like you. Man, I'm not taking my note off that one, okay? So I'll take the hard work. If all I do is take the hard work that I don't desire for the rest of my life, sometimes you make better money doing the hard work that nobody else. A wise man, Will Hill, told me that a long time ago. And I was reminded of it because my dad built me on that ethic. If that's all you got to do is the hard work, you're not even competing with people sometimes. Often nobody wants to do it. They want, like this pen I got from DJ. They just want the easy. Everybody wants the fluff. Well, it's not that way with us. We'll take the hard shoe off and walk in the bare feet when we can. And we won't go the way of glass. We don't want to cut our feet. But we'll do what it takes and get the work with you accomplished, because you need it too. You got hard choices you're faced with every day in your company. Your customers aren't always coming back like they used to. They don't talk like they used to anymore. Some of them are tougher than they used to be. We don't want to be a bully, but there is a good bully too. And you read about that or read about that on my Facebook. It's got a big Boston Bruin logo on it, and hockey analogies and stuff. And there's some ancient history about these angelic beings that were crossed over with humans, called the Nephilim. And a whole ancient tribe came out of that. And I kind of like history. I'm a history buff. And you can learn from your, I don't want to call them forefathers, and some of them, way back in history, obviously, if you track your descent and your roots history. We got Dutch background in us, and English, and Irish, and German, and, so there's a mix, eh? You can learn things, mistakes they made. You can learn the right way by some of the good choices they made. And I even had a brother who, one of my brothers, Rich, he said that to me once. He said, Bern, I just watched some of you and Dad when I was kind of growing up and kind of followed what you guys were doing in some ways, and then other things I saw you do, and I thought, yeah, maybe I won't try that. That's life, eh? That's wisdom, actually. Like a project I'd want to do, I wouldn't mind, going down to California where I could live not far from my kids someday, and taking a beach hunt, selling surfboards or something. But reality is I live in Canada, and this is where my first franchise will be. I'm the global leader in terms of my company as we reach out across the globe, and we will, because little by little we're working our ultimate business plan that I've built the first round for 30 years, and we might go an additional 10 years, because I'm going to go long and strong with my company here. And maybe my kids can take it over someday if they want, and I'm going to encourage and promote that, because it'll give them something to do with me. Business and work is good, healthy stuff. And, we'll have a humanitarian element to our approach to things, helping people in relief in areas of society where there's need, and there's good stuff out there, and you can always create more, right? You have goals and dreams and visions. So, this is where I live, and I'm supposed to be here. I'm meant to be here, and I will be branching out, but I'll also be running the first Canadian franchise as well, and it might get split into Western and Eastern Canada in two whole parts as one, but we'll see who takes it over. You got to start it. You got to be the tree, at the beginning, and as the roots and it all spreads out and grows in health, the tree has many branches, and many people will take on the parts, and the acorn don't fall from the tree, as the saying goes. So you want to be a good leader and a good person in it, a good husbandman, a good, you know, kind of soul that wants to do the right things. And we've got a good establishment here, so we're doing that, and we're going to go far with it. You know, so as we meet you in the market, we're going to want to know your target, what your goals are specifically. You know, we want to take on reality and make sure that it's real goals. We can trust the establishment we're in, that you've got good, healthy goals in mind, and we're going to represent you well and accomplish those goals, right? So we won't, you know, take on anything unrealistic unless we can come to an agreement on how it should work between both sides. You know, and we'll call you. We'll pick up the phone and talk to whoever has got to make the deal, and come see you. We'll meet with you. I guess we have two levels of service really in projects, and this is our project. This isn't our business process improvement one. This is our. We'll talk about that another time, maybe next week. This is about our grow the market, or the Go project. Go representing you. We go represent you. We go out and represent you and get you the business on the books. So we have kind of two levels of service to that. And so you've assigned us the territory. Now we're getting going. But what are we doing out there? Well, you know, we're representing you. But okay, so in those scenarios, number one, and there's two basic services, but one is going to cost more than the other because there's more work. There's initial contact. We go once to any customer you assign to us, introduce your products and services, invite them back to you. You know, we invite them to come back to you and come see you, and you know, and then we bring back their contact information if they're a new person that you're just kind of aware of them, but you don't have any kind of establishment with them. And if somebody updates us that you're currently dealing with us and you had given us the right to go call on them, you know, we do that as well. The right to go see them and bring back their info with their permission. And, you know, because people change their phone numbers and all kinds of stuff, get divorced and all that. And, you know, and we tell you basically what they're interested in specifically out of your products and services. And that's about it. It's an initial contact. Number two would be the pull-through. So in the pull-through service, we'd go do everything again in the initial contact number one service. But then we might not go into some depth if they're refreshed and it's like, oh yeah, you were talking to me last time, you know, 3 months ago or half a year ago or whatever, 6 months ago, 5 months ago, 2 months ago, whatever, right? Whatever the time frame is, and bring back reference to that so they have a starting point with you, and they'll remember you. If you made an impression, they'll remember us and who we are. And then what we do over and above that initial contact in the pull-through service is we go back a second time to close the deal. That is our major goal, to close the deal for you, to get you that big, you know, sale of their purchase of their multi-billion-dollar thing, organization of products, crop inputs, whatever, accounting services and packages, legal fees, whatever you're selling and promoting, the clothing line, however, oil and gas, frac parts, drill parts, you know, maybe you're selling clothing line and clothespins, and we'll go back to a system like that when people want to go more ergonomic and don't want to use dryers anymore and what, you know. So we'll do that kind of stuff. But we want to close the deal right there on the second visit. Now, it might not always be possible. So, because some people take more than 2 visits to close a deal. That's their customer perception of things, where they're at. And you can't always, no matter how good you are, move them ahead of their timing. If they trust their gut instinct, they're going to stay with you. They want to create trust with you and the organization. Us are representing you. They want to create trust in the whole scheme of things with the middleman consulting firm, us, CCI, Connections Consulting, and you, the company we're representing, to them. So they won't skip ahead of their gut instinct. So on that second pull-through visit, we got to accomplish a couple of things. If we can't close them right then and make the deal for you, we're going to leave it, and we'll probably leave it in one of three ways. We'll tie them into a three-way conference call with you to see if we can mesh it somehow with your voice, in the visit with us. And maybe you'll be the defining edge for them. Then they'll know, okay, when this guy's gone, the leader of this thing, this institute, they're taking care of me because now I know the other guy. He connected me to the guy that's there day to day on the job, or the boss of the guy they're going to be hiring to replace me where I filled the gap and filled in. That's one. The second thing would be we book an appointment with you and invite your guest, your client, to come back and see you at a later date where they can organize and orchestrate what they want to do with you. And that would be kind of a minimum thing we'd want to do. And I guess we'll just outright try to make the sale ourselves as we close, is one of those three options. So either way, there's going to be a link. And come hell or high water, if we can't do it, then they've obstructed us somehow in their client list, them wanting to deal or whatever. It's we're gonna do everything we can to get through that, and we're good at this. We've proven it over the years. I think that what else? We're pretty much out of time. One more thing, I guess, we're not liable for anything. We're going to be very clear. We are not going to represent you outside of your box that you give us. If we can't make the sale within the guidelines you've given us, or come back to you with permission to stretch it a bit for some reason, because we see there's a flaw somewhere where we can accomplish your overall goal of putting the deal together, but they're getting hung up on one of the guidelines. It's not something that maybe is needed with them for whatever reason. They've got $1 million in the bank cash, and you want some credit agreement with your customer, and they say, well, that doesn't make sense to me. I got the money. We'll come back, get your permission to go that extra mile, that extra step. Maybe there's a 2% cash discount. Sometimes it's volume. We believe in fair pricing between clients. How do you gain new business if you're schmoozing with them and giving them special deals and your good, loyal clients aren't getting those deals? We believe in a transparent price list. But, you got to open that up, and sometimes a volume deal in cash. I've seen where 5 small customers got together and we pushed a truckload of fertilizer out to their farms, and they were all working together in a neighborly way, and they got the same deal the big guy across the road did, because it was